Hello, and I am kind of known among my friends as the one that is pretty good with redstone, so I have decided to share some of my knowledge with you and tell you how to make how to do the basics with redstone. Basically, just a basic redstone tutorial. The basics of redstone, I'm going to start really simple. This is redstone ore, okay? You need an iron pick or better to mine redstone ore, and it'll drop 4 to 5, or maybe it's 3 to 5, pieces of redstone. Redstone you can place by right-clicking on the ground, like that, and then you can break it by clicking on it once. This is a single piece of redstone. If you put two pieces of redstone together, it'll do that, and you can make all kinds of crazy patterns with it. You can branch off 4 different directions from one piece of redstone. This is a redstone torch. What that'll do is if you put a piece of redstone next to a redstone torch, it will power it up. However, if you dig down a bit here, and then you put it down there, it will not power it up. But if I were to put an activator here for the redstone, then it would send current through the redstone and it would turn off that torch, actually, which is a bit odd, but bear with me. It will probably be explained later on. This is a redstone repeater. What you do with this is whenever you attach a power source to one side, let's say this lever is the power source, you can flip the lever and it'll send power to this redstone repeater. Now you can also delay a repeater by right-clicking on it up to 3 times. And that will delay the repeater so that when you send that current, it'll actually have a delay. A lever is the next step right here. Levers are probably the most commonly used power. You can flip a lever like this and power some redstone, or of course you can flip a lever like this and power some redstone behind that. You can also put redstone on top of it and power it like that. Pressure pads are also very useful. Stone pressure pads and wooden pressure pads have the same effect, except there is a slight difference, which I'll explain later. Buttons are another very useful one. The only difference that they have between levers is the fact that whenever you press a button, it gives it a short burst, about 2 seconds long, and then it stops. Again, you can use repeaters or systems to make that last for longer or make it last forever. There are some blocks that redstone cannot be placed on, such as glass and stone slabs, or any type of slabs, and redstone can be destroyed by water, so that's something you'll want to look out for. Redstone can power pistons as well as sticky pistons, as you can see right there. Very interesting. It can also power note blocks, which is a very common use for those, as well as blow up TNT. In fact, it is one of the very few ways to blow up TNT. So you can just flip that lever and boom. There you go. TNT explodes via redstone. It can also power dispensers to fire several yummy items at you, such as apples. It can also be used to power rails. For example, if I flip this lever, you'll notice that power rail turns red. So if I push this minecart right now, it slows down dramatically whenever it gets to that point. But if I power this by flipping the lever here, then whenever I push the minecart, it will actually speed the minecart up, which is an extremely useful use. Now this is another very useful part. I meant to do that earlier. You can pull a lever like this, and repeaters will also renew the current of redstone. So redstone can travel about 15, I think, wires before it runs out of power and it is just dead. Then you have to attach a repeater and then it will be refreshed. So here I can just show you those repeaters will carry the current all the way over there. That's quite a long distance for some wire. Now I'm going to demonstrate the delay on repeaters. If I pull this lever, you'll see that those repeaters delayed. So it gave me a bit of time between me flipping the lever and the TNT actually being activated, much less exploding. I just set this up so you can see how redstone torch can power redstone all around it. Very useful. Actually, it's not very useful. In fact, that's a big nuisance to a lot of people. For people that like to make the redstone go up, there are several different methods to do it, but this is definitely the most compact. Pistons can block up sand, as you see there. However, if you pull this lever right here, as I demonstrated earlier, the torches will lead the redstone up, and then the piston will open up, therefore dropping the sand. And then I can close the piston back up. So I transported it 6 blocks up, actually 7 blocks up, with a lever way down here. Very useful. Pistons can also block up water, which I could just pull this lever and demonstrate right there. The water has been stopped. Right, undo that. Water continues. Also, redstone current can travel through one block, so I can put a piece of redstone there, and the piston will retract. Or not retract, whatever the other word is. But if I even remove that, the redstone current will go through this block and then to here. Now, this does not work with other redstone. As you can see, the current does not continue. You'd have to do like that, or just get rid of that block altogether. But yeah, that's really useful, really interesting. You can hide the redstone while not hiding the pistons. Also, another very interesting thing is that you can make these adapters, power adapters. And what this will do is the redstone will go into it, on or off, and it'll come out the opposite. So, for example, you see the redstone that is coming out of the lever has to be lit up in order for this piston to extend. And then whenever it's dark, the piston retracts. However, this one is extended whenever the redstone coming out of the lever is black or dark. That is because it is going into this torch, and the torch is changing it around a bit. So if I flip this lever, then the redstone current coming out of this is bright, which would normally extend a piston, but this is actually making it retract. Now this is how a lot of people make the really cool things that no doubt you've seen on servers and all kinds of stuff. Double sliding doors. You can just step on some pressure pads and it will open up these doors. Now if you've ever attempted to do this, like I had several times before I actually knew how to do it, you would end up getting the pistons to close whenever you were trying to walk through. Now, of course, usually you would have all this stuff hidden, so it would be much nicer looking, but I just did this so that you could see everything. I even put some glass down here. You see I have the redstone coming out from under the pressure plates and going into that. And I told you I would demonstrate a difference between the stone and the wooden pressure pads. Stone pressure pads are only activated whenever you step on them. If you put an item on them, it has no effect. Wooden pressure pads are also activated whenever you step on them. However, they are also activated whenever you put an item on them. So stone pressure pads are not affected, while wooden pressure pads are affected if you put items on them. Redstone can also be powered to, or used to power the opening and closing of doors. So if I just flip this lever, you'll see I can open up those 3 different types of doors and shut them rapidly, getting very annoying. You're probably like, big deal, you know, you can open up a wooden door, you can open up a trap door with your hands, you know, this is not really necessary, unless you just want to make something really, really elaborate and unnecessary. But iron doors you actually can't open up with your hands. And usually people have a lever, you know, on the wall right next to them, but this is actually something that's really, really cool, really, really useful skill. Alright, so there you go. That is basic redstone stuff. You can do so much with redstone. The most complicated thing I had here was this. In fact, I actually want to show you something on my server that took me about an eternity to build out of redstone. Actually, it only took me 2 or 3 days. So I will take you to that right now.